Coming up on Network Africa. ECOWAS leaders meet in Accra, Ghana on political situation in Guinea. French president says head of Islamic State in Sahara killed by French troops. Plus, UN urges countries to resume talks over now dam dispute. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Teniola Shoboale. We begin in West Africa, where ECOWAS leaders are meeting in Accra, Ghana, to discuss the political crisis in Guinea following a coup that ousted President Alpha Condé. ECOWAS suspended Guinea last week after a special forces commander toppled the 83-year-old Condé. A delegation from the 15-member ECOWAS group was sent to Conakry to meet with coup leader Mamadi Doumbouya, visit Condé and demand a civilian-led transition. Earlier, Ghana's foreign minister, who led the delegation, said the extraordinary summit being held today would review the delegation's findings and decide the next steps for Guinea's return to constitutional rule. On Wednesday, the army rulers held talks with the country's civil society, a day after meeting with politicians and leaders of political parties. And Joy News TV's Elton Brobe has been following the summit in Accra. He joins us now for more. Elton, it's good to see you. Just give us an idea of the meeting so far. What are you hearing?
Right. So the member states or the ECOWAS leadership, they are currently in a closed-door session after the opening ceremony. What is happening is that they are now considering a report submitted by Ghana's Foreign Minister, Shirley Ayokoboshe, who led a team to assess the situation in Guinea. Now, her report is forming the basis for today's deliberation. After the deliberation, according to the program that they have, then they will move into deciding on the best possible way forward. And that will include a timetable within which the military regime in Guinea will have to return the country to constitutional rule. I'm picking information that ECOWAS is looking at within the next 6 months for general elections to be held in Guinea, for them to have a constitutionally elected president in power. This is what I'm picking, and this is likely to be the outcome of today's engagement, which is currently in a closed-door session.
And women leaders, like you mentioned, are likely to review that report of the high-level mission to Guinea last week. But what else is on the agenda today, especially, with the army already in talks with Guinea's civil society?
Right. So it is just a one agenda event, even though they are also likely to listen to the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, who is also leading mediation efforts in Mali to get them to respect the roadmap agreed and rolled out by the military regime in Mali. So that is going to be the second leg of the discussions today. But today is centered on Guinea and constitutional rule.
That was...
Now, what I'm picking is, yes. So what I'm picking
Elton.
is that
Go ahead, Elton. We can hear you.
With political parties, civil society groups, and other interest groups to come to a decision as to the government that is most appropriate for Guinea. And until they are able to do that, they will not be in a position to respect the roadmap that's likely to be announced by members of the ECOWAS, even though I'm told that they will give the military regime up to 6 months within which to hold general elections and then return the country to constitutional rule. Also, to ensure that the deposed leader is released from detention and allowed to, have his freedom. So these are the issues that they are looking at. After the closed door session, there's going to be a formal briefing. Ghana's foreign minister will speak to the media, tell us the outcome of today's extraordinary emergency summit.
All right, then, Joe News TV's Alton Brobe, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. Now to the security situation in the Sahel. French President Emmanuel Macron says the jihadist leader of the Islamic State group in the Greater Sahara has been killed by the French military. French forces, backed by U.S. intelligence, have been hunting jihadist cells in the region for years. Islamist insurgent groups have spread across the region, including Mali, Niger, Chad, and Burkina Faso. And the Islamic State group is blamed for many of the jihadist attacks across the region. The jihadist leader al-Sarawi was behind the killing of French aid workers in 2020. It was also wanted by the United States over a deadly 2017 attack that killed U.S. and Niger troops. Libyan forces loyal to the eastern-based commander, General Khalifa Haftar, have been clashing in the south of the country with rebels from neighboring Chad. General Haftar's self-styled Libyan National Army says it had carried out airstrikes. The rebels from a group called the Front for Change and Concord in Chad says that their positions on the border between the two countries had been attacked. It claims French forces allied with General Haftar had been involved. France denies this. So the situation in Tigray, the NGO Human Rights Watch says Eritrean refugees were raped, detained and killed by forces in northern Ethiopia. The international rights group says the abuses were committed by Eritrean forces who were fighting alongside Ethiopian federal forces in the Tigray region, as well as by the Tigrayan forces fighting against them. Thousands of Eritrean refugees live in camps in Tigray. Eritrea has not commented about these recent allegations, but as in the past, denied any abuses by their forces. And over in Egypt, Amnesty International has accused the security services in the country of intimidating and harassing human rights activists in order to try to silence them. The campaign group interviewed 25 people for a new report called "This Will Only End When You Die." Amnesty says that most of those interviewed said they lived in constant fear of being detained by the National Security Agency. The group has called on President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to put an end to what it called extrajudicial harassment. Now, the United Nations has urged Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan to resume talks to resolve the dispute over the Nile Dam within a reasonable time frame. The UN Security Council says the three nations should restart the negotiations at the invitation of the African Union's chairperson to quickly finalize the text of mutually acceptable and binding agreement on the filling and operation of the dam. The dam project on the Blue Nile is caused tension between Ethiopia and its neighbors, with Egypt and Sudan worried about droughts and water security. Egypt sees it as a major issue as it relies almost entirely on the river for its water supply. But Ethiopia sees the dam as a way to bring electricity to millions of its citizens. The dam is almost complete and due to start generating an initial 750 megawatts of electricity in a month. It's expected to generate 8 times that amount when it's projected to be complete in 2023. And in South Sudan, the special representative of the UN Secretary General, Nicholas Haysom, has told the Security Council that unless there are adequate technical and political preparations, that elections expected to take place in 2023 could be catastrophic. Haysom, who is also the head of the United Nations mission in South Sudan, says South Sudanese President Salva Kiir has himself recently acknowledged that an open and fair election is critical critical in the country. The Director for Operations and Advocacy at the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs and South Sudanese Ambassador also updated the Security Council on the situation in the country.
President Kiir has himself recently acknowledged that an open and fair election is critical for South Sudan to proceed along its transition. He has emphasized that its preparation needs an early start. There is no consensus on the exact timelines. Relying on the 2 extensions to the transitional period, the most generous interpretation would see elections in early 2023. This would require the completion of a voters' roll by mid to late next year. Unless there are adequate technical and political preparations, this event could be catastrophic instead of a national turning point.
People in South Sudan currently face the highest levels of food insecurity recorded since independence. As the SRSG said, over 60% of the population are severely food insecure. The combined effects of conflict, climate shocks, displacement, the socio-economic impact of COVID-19, and the lack of investments in infrastructure and basic services have driven people deeper into need. More than 8.3 million people currently need humanitarian assistance, including 1.4 million children.
Many challenges still remain, and the parties to the agreement intend to overcome these challenges. However, we know that these challenges would be overcome faster and sooner with the encouragement of the international community. We are hopeful that the international community will double its efforts and commitment to the people of South Sudan to overcome these challenges.
Meanwhile, blue helmets from the United Nations mission in South Sudan continue to secure residents of Tambura, the latest being their water collection escort patrols. Recognizing the needs of displaced people who have fled recent conflicts in Tambura, Western Equatoria, the soldiers' main aim is to accompany displaced people as they fetch water from a nearby source. Many newly displaced are deeply concerned about the lack of hygiene and safe drinking water. More than 40,000 displaced persons, mostly women and children, are currently being protected by UN-MISS peacekeepers across 3 different sites within Tambura. The UN peacekeeping mission says it's focused on keeping them safe and preventing further violence.
The focus of UNMISS has been life-saving intervention. What we've primarily focused on is trying to quell the violence, but at the same time give protection to the IDPs. We have 3 IDP sites that we are giving force protection, and within those IDP sites, there also has been some needs that we have tried to address. We've done water patrols where we have accompanied the IDPs to get water from a source nearby. And on top of that, we've also tried to do high-level engagement and have been facilitating the coming of government officials and other military personnel so that they may come and also help to stop the violence that is taking place here.
And away from South Sudan, the United Nations mission in the Central African Republic has announced a decision by the Secretariat to repatriate all Gabonese military units from the Central African Republic, effective immediately. The spokesperson for the Secretary General, Stefan Dujarric, says the decision follows reports of sexual abuse by the Gabonese military contingent deployed to the peacekeeping mission.
Republic announced a decision by the Secretariat to repatriate all Gabonese military units from the Central African Republic, effective immediately. This decision follows credible reports received by the mission of sexual abuse by the Gabonese military contingent deployed to the peacekeeping mission and the history of pending allegations involving Gabonese contingents in the country. Gabon has been formally notified of this decision. You know, the decision taken by the Secretary General comes after what we feel is demonstrated failure to respond effectively to a history of allegations and sexual exploitations in the Central African Republic by the Gabonese, which include a failure to conduct timely and effective investigations and to report on sanctions for substantiated allegations. With new allegations, we've received a total of 32 allegations of sexual exploitation and abuse concerning 81 alleged perpetrators from Gabon, all military contingent members deployed or formerly deployed in MINUSCA. Of these 32 allegations, 6 have been substantiated through an investigation, according to the information we've received to date. For your patience,
Still to come on the program. Zimbabwe artist turns worthless old Mugabe-era banknotes into paintings. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. The British Deputy High Commission in Lagos has hosted a pre-departure reception to bid farewell to the 2021-2022 cohort of Nigerian Chevening scholars. After a rigorous selection process, 50 Nigerians have been awarded the scholarship to pursue their master's degree across various universities in the UK. Since 1983, over 50,000 professionals from around the world have benefited from the prestigious award. A new journey begins here for the recipients of the 2021-2022 Chevening Scholarship as they prepare for their studies in the UK.
It's exciting opportunities ahead.
In his opening remarks, the British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos congratulates the awardees on their success and their resilience.
You're going to get to travel to the UK and study, I think, is testament to your resilience.
Out of thousands who applied from across the world, 50 Nigerians were successful, chosen from different walks of life.
I feel so elated, honestly. I feel so glad. I feel so happy, so glad, because it's a rare opportunity. It is.
I look forward to learning a lot, research and analytical skills, and to bring the lessons learned back to come and help the health sector.
This year, one fellow is also selected. The president of the Chevening Alumni Association of Nigeria, Kesta Osahenye, alongside many other alumni and guests, are here to felicitate with the new scholars.
It should bring back home those values from the UK, the friendship that Nigeria and the UK has established all over the years. They should bring back innovative ideas that will help move our country forward.
We have so many great Cheveners amongst us.
Chairman, Channels Media Group, John Momo, is also a Chevener, and he urges the young professionals to use the opportunity to bring change to Nigeria.
Those 365 days should be days that will impact on your lives. Make them special, so that when you come back, as you think about the problems that Nigeria is grappling with, you try to fathom some solutions about what you're going to do when you get back to impact on our great country, Nigeria. So change is in the horizon. It is to be led by Cheveners. Because what Cheveners don't do is wait for change. They make things happen.
Chevening Awards are highly competitive, and to be selected for an award is a mark of potential and prestige.
8,000 applications, 7,000 eligible applications, and a 50 lucky recipients. And we think it's just an excellent opportunity for us, but also really for those Nigerians to enrich themselves, to study, to learn. And, you know, COVID's been a really tough time. So the prospect of going to the UK, having that study experience, and all, hopefully, of the richness of the experience of living in the UK, it's fantastic for them and fantastic for us.
Cheveners are expected to return home at the end of their studies, equipped with new knowledge, networks, qualifications, and confidence to implement positive change. Teniola Shobowale, Channels Television News. Well, let's head over to Ghana now, where boxer Samuel Taki has become a national hero after winning a boxing bronze medal in Tokyo. Now he has his sights set on going pro. Take a look.
A right hook to the Colombian boxer's ribs brought Tokyo 2020's featherweight quarterfinal to an end, clinching the bronze medal for Ghana's first Olympic champion in 29 years, Samuel Taki.
As you can know, Olympic Games is a very highest platform, biggest platform in, in 29 years, Ghana have never brought a medal, taken a medal in the Olympic Games. So that time, I was very happy there to break that record.
Upon returning to Accra, Taki was met at the airport by a thunderous crowd, euphoric in the presence of the newest member of Ghana's legendary boxing pantheon.
When I saw my son at the airport, I was very delighted because God has done the unimaginable for us. Before he left, I committed him into God's protection and guidance, and indeed, he answered our prayers. He gave us victory. I was very happy.
Taki has been a hometown hero since joining Ghana's national team at just 17 years of age. Nowhere is this more apparent than at the Disciplined Boxing Academy, a gym fashioned from an old jailhouse where Taki has trained since he was a boy. Adored by the younger student and envied by his peers, Taki accredits much of his success to his coach, Lawrence Kwaye, who he considers an uncle. Kwaye, who founded the Disciplined Boxing Academy, believes Taki has the potential to become one of Ghana's all-time greats. The signs, he says, have been evident since Taki was only a child.
When he starts growing up, when he fights, he told me, when he starts watching fights, when we go there watching fight, he says, this boy, I can defeat him. I say, what taught you can defeat him? He say, look at him. I think more than him. And that age, someone telling me he think. I'm wondering, but I know he's think on the ring, which is too much for me. Even though I'm training him, but too much is in our head. I'm a fast learner. Do this. So it makes this easy for me.
To Taki, the sky is the limit. He plans to drop his amateur status and go pro this year, encouraged by the likes of great boxers like Azarmel Nelson himself. Until that day comes, Taki says he will train every day in order to give meaning to the suffering he's endured to make it this far.
If anyone doesn't need reminding that banknotes are just worthless pieces of paper, it's Zimbabweans. Over a decade ago, they watched as hyperinflation obliterated their currency and led to the printing of 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollar note. Most bills ended up in the trash, but Zimbabwean visual artists has found value in the unloved old banknotes by using them to make art. Take a look.
Prudence Tumuchua, an artist, wants Zimbabweans to look beyond the ugly history of the inflation considered by the International Monetary Fund as the worst of any peacetime country to see something beautiful in the bills and in the process perhaps recover from the trauma of that time.
A lot of people, when they see these the old banknotes, their reaction most of the time is most people get angry. Because a lot of people lost a lot of things, and some other people even lost lots of money because you could just wake up and boom, the $1 million you had in your account is no longer functional. So for me, I'm trying to bring that element whereby I'm like sort of celebrating for people to see the beauty of these old banknotes. So when someone looks at this artwork, they go like, wow. And then they forget that the pain this thing has caused them.
Her paintings capture the daily lives of women, shown dancing, cooking, or in bright and elegant dresses, with the old Zim dollar notes stuck on with glue to form parts of the image. Her figures are mostly blue.
I paint them blue because for me it's a resemblance of strength and dominance. You can't miss a blue person. You would want to go near and try and find out what this is all about.
In one painting, a woman pours a liquid from a calabash which is made up of pieces of brown 1,500 billion Zimbabwe dollar notes. In another, a woman wears a mask and blouse made from purple 500 million Zimbabwe dollar notes.
For me to kind of like bring to light what I was going through as an artist, because I mean, most galleries, they are closed. And it was like an opportunity for me to just get out there and have my work like out there exhibited in a physical space.
The National Gallery of Zimbabwe, working with various artists, is running a month-long exhibition in Harare in a bid to raise awareness amongst the public on the issues surrounding the new normal. This exhibition has been given to the 18 to 41-year age group, and the task is to depict how masked every part of life has become. The new normal, masks, vaccination, social distance, locked in scenes in a serious, realistic, comical, and even spiritual perspective are all parts of the exhibition.
And that's the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Teniola Shiboale. Bye for now.